See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Welcome back, everybody. You're tuning into Season 2 of DBYT Podcast, and I'm your host, Taisha. Tonight, my friend Quan will help me turn the tables around and trade places with me as we talk about the masculine approach here on DBYT. As always, I want to give thanks to everybody and that takes the time to listen to my podcast. And with that being said, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to DBYT. I'm your host, Taisha, and today we have Laquan Monroe. But on today's specific episode, I will be the guest, and Laquan will definitely be the host. So we hope that you enjoyed this flip episode, and today's topic is going to be about dealing with men who approach you.
All right. So, Taisha, as a good-looking person from another good-looking person, I know we both have experienced this unwanted DMs. How do you deal with that?
Okay, so I'm the type of person that I'm gonna text back. The reason I text back is because I hate the feeling that I get if I text someone and they just like radio silence me, like if I'm trying to holler at you. So I give people the proper respect to just at least let them know, like, hi, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, I small talk with them for a little bit, and then once they get into the realm of asking me like, oh, I want to know if I could have your number or can we go out somewhere? I'd be like, I am sorry, but I am currently not looking for anyone, or I'm not dating. I try to be civil with people and try to grant them the respect that I would want somebody to give me, because it's no worse feeling than being rejected, like in the way that you don't even know why you're being rejected. At least if you can provide like, hey, well, you know, I either have a boyfriend or I'm currently talking to someone, or I don't want to talk to anyone. That will at least give people the opportunity to be like, okay, well, can I befriend you or something? And I personally think that's a better way to the stepping stones to getting into a relationship, even if it was unwanted from the start. Mm-hmm.
See, you handle that better than me. But at the same time, at least in like the gay community, mm-hmm. You'll get a DM and it'll be somebody's third arm.
Oh.
So yeah, it's just, they just off the bat don't say, hey, how are you?
That's disrespectful.
I know. And that's why they get the block. Okay,
but I think that's, at that point, you deserve to be blocked because ain't nobody asked to see that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's very disrespectful, like you said, because you don't have the decency to even just like type hello.
Finesse your way into it at least. Like, I feel like humans are pretty simple. You know, you throw a few compliments, you get to know them or whatever. People most likely gonna open up. So if you try to get to their more sexual side or whatever, it's kind of easy to do that, because let's face it, most people that I know, they with it. So it's not even that hard. But when you approach somebody the wrong way, they're not going for it, because I'm not going for it. If you are with the F stuff, no, I'm not going to talk to you.
I am quick to hit the block button. I feel like you come sideways, block instantly. I'm not even trying to deal with it.
But I used to be like that when I was younger. I was very quick to block when I was younger. But like, I know this is slightly off topic, but kind of on topic. Me and my friend Shia was talking about this the other day, like how we would talk to people, like, because, you know, obviously we grew up in a different time period than our parents, where our parents didn't experience online dating or anything, or the dating apps or whatever. So when the dating apps came out for us, like, we started on Hot or Not, but we were looking for like friends and stuff, so we could all three-way, you know, we just looking for friends. We done got catfish so many doggone times, it don't make no sense. And now that we look at it, it's like, that was really dangerous of us to do, especially being, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, you gotta think about it now. Kids nowadays are like hopping on Omegle at like 12 and 13 years old, and God knows what they done seen. The few times I done went on there, it was not a pleasant experience.
Don't get me started with the other social medias like TikTok. TikTok, if you are looking for it, TikTok is going to give it to you. If you are talking about it, they will show you. So it's like,
they just know.
With these kids being like a little bit more grown or a little bit more advanced than we were, they know some of the stuff that we knew or figured out when we were in high school, they're figuring out in elementary. And it's like, dang, like it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Like, I'm not giving my child no phone. You're going to be up on the rock.
Can't. No. You about to get that Nokia? That Nokia where you got to hit the numbers several times.
That is horrible.
Because who you calling besides me?
If you need to take pictures, I'll get you a camera.
I'll get you a little camera from Walgreens.
Feel me? Like, stay a child as long as you can, guys. And that's in general. Because it's adult stuff. I haven't even fully crossed the threshold of being an adult, and I'm stressed. But we gonna talk about that another time.
Yeah. So, I know you've been seeing on social media, maybe Twitter, about how some women fear to reject men. And it's because lately there have been like some cases of you reject a man and they get violent, like threats. I know I saw this one video on Twitter where the man started arguing with the women at the table. They were having dinner, and then he went out to his car to go get his gun because they rejected him.
I saw that too. And that's OD. Like, what in your right mind makes you think that you are worthy enough of this woman's time that you have to threaten her life? Let's dissect that a little bit. Like, your confidence is not everything. Like, at that point, your status is not everything at that point. If that lady tells you no, that's exactly what she means. It isn't up for negotiation. Like, don't try to convince her otherwise or try to what's the word? Smooth her, sweep off her feet in a sense.
Yes.
Because not everybody is looking for what you're looking for. So respect the game she calling. And keep it moving, pimp. There's so many other women who do want what you're looking for.
Yes. Like I always say, there's everybody for somebody.
Definitely.
So just because you get rejected, don't mean you got to get hostile. And like, I remember watching the video and he was saying like, I'm a thug, you don't know what you're getting into. I was like, yeah, she right. She don't know what she's getting into. So if you get hostile, she has every right to return that hostility because she doesn't know what can happen. And just like that,
it got out of hand.
The worst thing that could possibly happen happened. And I think luckily nobody was hurt.
Like, could you imagine that happening to one of your closest friends, or if you had a sister? Like, could you imagine that? Like, it's crazy. Like, you can't even go out and enjoy your time because people really, I think what's driving people to do this is that they're so lonely that they have like a fear of being that way forever, that they feel like they have to push themselves onto somebody just to be like, oh, I have a life partner now. Like, this is amazing. But it takes more than just being like asking somebody, oh, you want to go on a date? I need to see who you are. And sir, this first impression ain't it.
What I found like the most like astonishing about the whole thing was he did it at a whole restaurant setting. Like, it was other people around. Like he was being real bold about the whole thing. Like waiters were trying to tell him to go away. And it was just like, how could you even let yourself get to the point? It was like, oh, she rejected me. Like, it doesn't make sense in my head, at least. She rejected me, and now I gotta kill her. Like, where does that? You
feel me?
Oh, where does that equal?
That don't add up at all. I don't even multiply. Like, what? A part of me is glad that I have a lack of men coming up to me. Now, people in my DMs, they pop up. Not as much as some other women, but I think it's enough for me to where it's like, okay, well, hey, you're attractive still because they're still coming. Crazy. But I'm kind of like, when I'm in public, I usually either, if I don't have my mask on, I have a mean mug on because of the fact that I don't want to be approached. Now, if you take the time to actually approach me, things are different because I start smiling and stuff because I'm like, oh, look at you. Like, you think you're the man. Like, I get crazy up here. So that's a difference between me and other people because, like, I don't try to like overly do things with myself when I'm going out in public because, like, sometimes that is scary to think that you could go out and then somebody's just like so like amazed with you, and then you're like, I'm not as amazed as you are, and then they're like, oh, I gotta take your life now, and it's like,
yeah.
Only if one factor could be changed, I wish I could have changed it so we would not have been in this predicament. So yeah.
Do you feel like, say if a man approached you, do you feel like you automatically have to be polite with him?
Okay. If a man approaches me, it definitely depends on his delivery because I'm not a small woman. I'm very much strong.
A stallion?
Oh, very much so. Very strong-minded and very much, I'm not the bulkiest woman, but I can definitely handle my own if need be. So if I could beat you up, I'm not threatened at all. Like there's been times where little skinny little toothpicks come and you're just like, this man's serious. Like, not body shaming nobody, just so we clear. But I do like my men with a little meat on their bones, but that's neither here or there. But I don't feel like I have to automatically be nice to you. I will be more so in the middle with you, especially in person, because I'm very skeptical about the people who enter my energy. So if I feel like you're off or you kind of stupid up here, I'm not wasting my time talking to you. If anything, I'll give you this look. Like, I think a lot of people know my look, but it's like this very blank stare, and it's like, you gonna say something? It's like, are you done? But no, I don't feel like I have to be nice to anyone. Now, if you start off being nice to me, I will be nice to you. But if you're trying to get somewhere that I'm not trying to go, I will politely decline.
I know I've heard from some of my friends, like, when they get approached by guys, they're scared to be like, to openly reject him. Like, they try to politely decline, laugh it off, politely decline, keep walking. Because like again, like, they're scared of what might happen if they blatantly be like, no, or I'm not interested, or go away. Because, like, some people are crazy.
And that's the part that we are often shown when we go on social media, because obviously everything is very quick, very fast, very in your face when it comes to news. So it's like how me and you saw the same video. Out of all the videos in the world, we ended up seeing the same video. So it's like, that's what they want us to see. And it's like, you don't ever see somebody kind of actually approaching someone with good intention.
Yes.
Actually end up winning the girl because of how polite he was, or how charming he could have been. You usually see the back end of that. Like, you see the people being all rude and in your face and like, you gonna talk to me, woman? Or even like they make jokes about it where it's like, oh, what's up, mom? And then she's like, oh, I'm not interested, but you know, like, I'm flattered, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, you be, you ugly anyway. What's your tie? Even, you know, start getting real disrespectful at the mouth.
Yeah.
And then when she gets disrespectful, now he wants to elevate it, like, to make it
get physical.
Like, you know, like, to make it seem like, oh, I can show you what this do. You know what I mean? So it's like a game with them. How many women do you see just approaching men and getting that disrespectful?
That part. and we're not saying this every man. Like,
oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, because but it's the thing with social media, it shapes and it molds us. So if that's what you're seeing a lot, you're gonna try to, as much as you can, to prevent that same thing from happening to you. So if that means you gotta just be like no to everybody, you just gotta be no to everybody, because you don't know. And you hardly see, like you said, like the man being a gentleman, approaching a woman or approaching the man.
Yeah, hey, whatever whatever your cup of tea.
And like being actually like genuine and then like handling the rejection with ease.
Yeah.
But like she said no. Okay, cool. Let it go. But like
just like like have you ever met somebody and y'all kind of hit it off and then y'all what they call link this that's what they call it now, link or meet up or go out or whatever. Do you feel like kind of nervous, like, oh, I hope this person doesn't kill me?
Oh yeah. Before I started dating my boyfriend, it was like, I was like, okay, let's make sure we go to, I'm like, let's go to like somewhere in my head with a lot of people, somewhere I can run in case I need to. Like, cause I'm not with the getting kidnapped. I'm not with the being drugged. Like, I need to know, like, if I need to get away,
I got it.
It's about 50 people in the same room that I could alert, like, oh, this dude is crazy.
When I am going on dates, and if, like, say it's our first date, I'm not riding with you. I'm not. No. Because if I feel disrespected at any point, or if I feel like,
trapped.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to go home with you. I don't want you to take me home. 9 times out of 10, I don't even want you to know where I live until I am comfortable with you. If you know where I live, congratulations, because you're not getting my address if I don't trust you.
Nope.
Or if I really like, because it's too many crazy people. And say if I have you pick me up now, you have my address, you know where all the people that I care about live now, and you get mad at me and you try to take my life, and within that you could take my people's life. I can't let that happen on my account. So what is going to happen is, until I can trust you, that's when you can start picking me up and everything. And if while we're on this date and you just don't give me signs of somebody that I want to be around or be with, we won't do it again. We won't.
My next question would be, do you feel like when it gets to like that point where this ain't really, I'm not vibing, try to not hurt their feelings? Or are you more of like, whichever way you want to take the situation, I'll take it?
I don't want to be mean to somebody who's trying to talk to me, because let's not get it confused. Men do approach me, but they're not my type. So it's almost like I look at that as you don't count, because you don't spark my interest. So therefore, never had a chance to begin with.
Okay.
But that's what it is you never had a chance anyway. So I'm not going to be mean, but like, I do have a habit of sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, I will ghost. I will cut off all contact. I will detach, because I have energy that picks up your energy and is like, mama, they are too thuggish, or they too slow, or they too financially irresponsible. Like, it tells me things, and sometimes I choose to listen, and sometimes I straight up ignore it. But that's neither here or there. So, but I do try to be polite about it. I don't like hurting people's feelings unless you get disrespectful. Then, like, hey, I know
it. Me, like, I'm 5'10". Nobody's walking up to me. If you walking up to me, you bold. But on the few occasions, like, I've been approached, like you, I try to be polite, because I like to give respect to get respect. So I'm gonna be polite with you, kindly tell you no if I'm not interested. But then again, like, there are those times where, like, I have had some guys be like, oh, you're too good for me or something.
Please. Oh.
And then I'm just like, well, with that attitude, yeah, I am.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, you're right. I am too good for you, and I know it. And now I'm protecting what I feel needs to be protected, which is my time, my energy, my patience. So you testing all of those right now. And if you don't want me to get rude with you, don't get rude with me.
Please don't get rude. Because, like, I can switch.
Yeah.
That politeness can get nasty as HE double hockey sticks, girl. Right.
Especially, like, I take a lot of things literal. I take it to heart. So if you, like, sometimes I don't catch jokes. unless it's a little laughy laugh, ha ha ha. But if I feel like this is how I think. If somebody put like, "Oh, bro, you ugly," LOL, it's like, I don't know. You probably really calling me ugly. But like, I'm like, "Oh, ha ha ha, you ugly too." You know what I mean? But it really depends on how I hear you in my head, how I see you in my head, how we be vibing. Do we play like this on a regular, or are you testing me right now?
Yeah, I get that. Because like, I'm sometimes when I read a message, I gotta read it 5 times, 10 times before I respond. But I'm just like, oh.
Text a friend, be like,
okay.
Hey, if I say this to this, am I wrong?
Am I wrong? Does this seem rude to you?
It seems like a proper response. Like, am I getting too buck, or do I need to comment out? Like, what I need to do? I definitely get that.
All right, Taisha, why do you feel like what we've seen on social media, why do you feel like these men get violent from rejection?
They feel like they're being challenged, like to an extent of where they've been told their whole lives, like, oh, men are supposed to get women like in an abundance. They're supposed to get what they want basically at all times, at all costs, where it's like no one should tell you no because you're the man. And if you get rejected, now they feel like their masculinity is being tested, and they don't like that. They start to feel weak. And the crazy thing is, what people will say, they be like, "Oh, I feel like a little," you know what I mean? Because and that's really associating with women. Oh, now you feel like a woman. But I don't understand that at all. Because honestly, women are a lot stronger than what men think. We
100%.
So it's like where we would put up with something men won't, and that's the difference. That's the biggest difference right there. Because like, I had a conversation with somebody not too long ago where she asked me, like, why do men leave if they get cheated on in a relationship? I said, because they know their self-worth. They are taught more of a self-worth aspect than women, in my opinion. Because like, I feel like if more women had more self-respect or more value with what they feel like they deserve, they wouldn't put up with it either, to an extent. And obviously every situation is different, and you have to look at what is going on. Has this happened before? Will it happen again? Is this man taking care of me? Is he using me? Like, it's a lot of factors that go into that. But at the end of the day, do you deserve that treatment? And a lot of men aren't going to do that because they feel like that if they leave today, it will be another woman waiting for them tomorrow, because that's what they're conditioned to believe. It shouldn't be a no. Why are you saying no to me? I can have as many women as I want. You don't want to be one of them? That's the difference.
What bothers me with that mentality of some men is like, if you don't want to be one of them, okay, don't let them be one of them then. Why you gotta force her to be one of them? Like,
because he's attracted to her, and the reason that they get violent is because that's also like another masculine trait where it's like men have to feel like they can't, like, the only emotion that y'all are allowed to have is happy and angry. So you've already eliminated the happy aspect once you rejected me. Now I feel weak. I feel hurt. I'm wounded. But I can't show sadness because society doesn't like for me to be sad. I can't walk away and you think that I'm a little punk for not even trying to get at you, because they are also told like, oh, women love when you're consistent or persevere or whatever. But you got to look at the situation. Every situation is special. And if you see that this woman is not coming for you like you coming for her, just leave it alone. But they're not conditioned to see that. They get angry, and then some people don't know how to control their emotions because, especially in the Black community, we, like even before, we don't talk about our problems enough. We don't talk about it. Nope. We feel like we have to keep everything inside for the most part, and I am a victim of that. I am definitely a product of that, having to feel like I have to keep everything inside, because if you start spilling your heart out, everybody's looking at you like you the sensitive one. Everybody's looking at you like you the weak one. Everybody's like judging you because it's like You always crying about something. You always upset about something. Like, why don't you, get a sense of self, be stronger, do this, do that, but it's like, after I done been through all of this and I've been having to swallow everything since I was a child, what do you want me to do? How do I do that? Show me.
Exactly. Like, I was just going to say, like, I feel like that goes into like the previous generation before us when it comes to like men still didn't handle rejection well. Like, if a man told his wife to do something, it needs to get done. So I feel like some of that washed down into some of us. I'm not saying all of us, but into some of us where like we seen like our dad tell our mom to do something and she did it instantly, or like put our mothers through hell and they put up with it. And I just think when you grow up in that kind of environment, it can shape you to be like, well, if I try to simulate these same things, it should get these same results. But I don't think some men have realized that women have grown a lot with like their inner strength. Like, I know a whole bunch of women who aren't afraid to be like, no, this is not what I want. I'm not going to settle for anything less than this. So you either have to deal with that, well, actually, you just have to deal with that.
That's it.
And be gone.
The way that you were parented and brought up as well. Like, for example, let's look at the toys that boys have versus what girls have. Girls are conditioned to be a motherly, a wifely figure for a man. A man is, it's up to society standards to be handy and to like trucks and cars and stuff and do all the quote unquote masculine things, like the more harsh things in life. Where you don't see that for little girls. You see them having baby alive. You see them going to the freaking grocery store. You see them having the kitchen steps and everything. And not saying that those things weren't fun growing up, but at the same time, you don't see the acting like dads don't exist. Why we don't have the baby dolls for boys? You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure do they have little boys or do they always have little girls?
I think from what I've seen, it's always been little girls.
Little girls, right?
Yeah.
You know what? That's weird, but that's another day. But anyways, just to wrap up this question, I feel like the reason why is because of how people are grown up and conditioned to believe that if they desire something, they should be able to get it. And everybody feels like they deserve everything. And personally, I feel like nobody deserves anything. You either work for what you get or you don't get it. But that's just
exactly. For our final question, what do you think a solution is for this problem? Like, how can women or people just protect themselves, like if they ever find themselves in this kind of situation?
That's hard because sometimes women do get the short end of the stick, but try not to be as rude as you can be, because sometimes I do feel like there are women who go out to initially, like once they're approached, they feel like, oh, another one. You know what I mean? And they feel entitled to belittle him. You don't have to go that hard to just pass up an offer. You don't have to do that. Just like, say if you had a job offer and you really didn't want it. Hey, you guys, I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you. I found better elsewhere. But thanks for taking out the time, X, Y, and Z. You don't even got to go to that extent of being that polite to somebody, but at the same time, don't be like, I don't want your dusty talking to me. You know, like, because some people really go, they kick it up a notch.
They go in, yeah.
And that's embarrassing. I don't think the goal is to embarrass. I think the goal should be to get your message across without getting hurt. And if the man doesn't understand, call for help, hopefully. Hopefully you in the public where other people can see and help you out. And if you're not, oh my gosh, just try your best to not give in to what he wants if that's not what you want, but also try to keep yourself safe and start, being mobile to where it's like, if you see that he's trying to corner you or he's trying to trap you somewhere, get up, start walking around, do that. If he follows you, okay. But as long as you're moving towards an exit, don't go to your car because now he knows what your car looks like. But move around and try to just wear him down to where he doesn't even want to talk to you anymore. Play dumb if you have to.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Twitter. And I saw some questions about that, like, how do you? Because if you do something beforehand, like, you can get charged with something. If you do something afterhand, you might even end up dead. So, like, there's not a middle ground on the situation, I feel like, because it's just, like you said, the women get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
And, like, because I seen some people, like, someone was like, women should carry guns. And I was like, well, if she carries a gun and she points it at him, she gets charged for the crime.
What about pepper spray?
I think you could still get charged for that, though.
Really?
If he has not physically harmed you,
but he's harassing you at that point. Is that not enough? That's
and that goes into our law system. That's for another episode.
definitely goes into another one. But okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming today, Laquan. That was an amazing time.
I was glad I could host. This is
it's a little different. It's a little different, isn't it? Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I'm glad you invited me back.
But yeah, guys, that's all we have for tonight. As always, we out. That's all we have for DBYT tonight. I want to thank everybody who tuned in this week. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at _Sanah, that's SENIH, or on my podcast page at DBYT Productions. I'm also starting my own photography business, and I'm currently taking donations for the time being. So if you want more information on that, you can hit me up on DBYT Productions page, because that's where I'll be posting most of my new portfolio, as well as updates for the show. And if you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or questions, you always feel free to hit me up on social media. You can tune in next week, where we'll discuss yet another interesting topic. I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.